Alright, so there has been a lot of rumors floating around surrounding the new MacBooks. The MacBook Pro, the MacBook Air, the iMac Pro, the Mac Pro, all of it. And so in this video, I'm going to give you guys my full expectations and wants for the 2021 iMac specifically. And we're going to talk about what to expect, what I want, and how they're going to go about it. And so, let's get into it. Alright, sup, no best here, and as I said, today we are going to talk about my expectations about the brand new 2021 iMac that is supposed to come out this year, and all of the new features that I want in it. And so, to start off, we're going to talk about the design. Now, obviously, the iMac has not been refreshed since about 2012 or 2013, and it has these massive, huge, ugly bezels with a massive chin at the bottom. So I feel that, first of all, the iMac should be redesigned with slimmer bezels, squared off edges. If you look at the Pro Display XDR, something like that, but also way cheaper because that is a $6,000 monitor. And just thinner bezels, squared off edges, and just a higher resolution display with more, I would say, color coming out of it, because it is such an old design. And also, I want to see more colors. I want to see silver, I want to see space gray. Maybe they add in a rose gold. I guess we will see how that fares out. But that is the redesign that I'm looking for. Second, obviously, is the internals. As we saw in 2020, Apple came out with the M1 chip, which has taken the stride, and they are very powerful. And I did a review on the M1 MacBook Pro 13-inch, which I'll put up here or up here. I still can't remember. It'll also be linked down below in the description if you guys do want to check it out. And so in that video, I talked about the power and the efficiency and the battery life of the brand new MacBook Pros and the M1 chip. Now, battery life doesn't apply to iMacs, but the power and efficiency do. And so I want to see a more powerful, a more efficient, and a more overall better chip going into these new iMacs for 2021. Whether they call it the M1X or the M2 chip, we will see what that looks like. But I want to expect more power, probably up to like 16 cores on the iMac, and then maybe 32 on the iMac Pro, sorry. And we'll see how that fares out. The only thing is that if we do that, the iMacs will not be upgradable. And then when you talk about that, most iMacs do have a dedicated GPU, and if we do the M1 chip, we're going to lose that ability to have that dedicated GPU because all of it will be integrated, unless they can find a way to make both of them work, but I don't see that happening. Now, the iMac right now comes in a 21 or a 27-inch, and so the new iMacs with the M series chips are expected to come in either a 23, a 24, and a 27, and so I think that the 27 will have more power. It will have more option for more cores in the CPU and in the GPU and more unified memory. And as well, it'll have more option for storage as well. And so we'll see how those two compete against each other when it comes out. Now, just for clarification, these iMacs are not announced yet, but these are just my expectations and what I want to see in them. Now, Apple said that they would transition all of their Macs, including the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, Mac Mini, iMac Pro, and Mac Pro, all of them over to Apple Silicon chips within the next 2 years. And they said that last year. So by 2022, they will all be transferred. And so I'm expecting the iMac to come out this year, and then the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro to come out in 2022, since they just came out with new ones back in 2019. And so the iMac, I believe, will come out this year. It'll make the transition to the iMac Pro and the Mac Pro very easy for users using the iMacs, because you can grab the iMac for this year, which will give you a feel of what is about to come, and then you can transition over to an iMac Pro or over to a Mac Pro, and so there you have that. Now, a new feature that has been speculated for a while now is incorporating Face ID that is in phones into the camera on the iMac. And so that would be a really cool feature, as it is a desktop computer and you're not taking it anywhere like you would a MacBook or anything. So most of the time, you probably won't be wearing a mask in the time that we're in right now. And so that would be a really cool feature. You get the Face ID. All you got to do is just sit down, look at the computer, and you're in. And so adding Face ID would be a very cool touch with the thinner bezels, the better display, and the more vibrant colors. That would just look amazing, and that would really do it all for me, but we're gonna keep going. Alright, and so as for price, I am obviously expecting it to be much cheaper than the other iMacs because we saw that the MacBook Pro and the Mac Mini and as well the MacBook Air got lower in price as they added the M1 chips. I really expect it to be cheaper because they're making them in-house rather than buying them from Intel. And so, yeah, so they're going to be cheaper, no doubt, but the how much cheaper is still in question, but we will see when they get announced. Now, I have some closing thoughts. As for ports on the iMac, I would rather them be on the side or on the bottom or on the front, because on the back is so hard to get to, and then you gotta like reach under, and then you can't really get there because there's so much stuff in the way. So I really feel that ports should be on the side or the bottom. And as for ports, they shouldn't get rid of any of them, because if they get rid of them, then you're going to need all the dongles, all of this, all of that. So just keep the ports that you have, keep the SD card, keep the Thunderbolt 3, keep the USB, keep all of that, keep Ethernet, just keep everything. So those are my thoughts on the ports on the iMac. I personally am wanting to get one because I know that they're going to be more powerful, they're going to look more futuristic, and they're going to have an overall better experience because they are all integrated Apple chips. And so I'm really looking forward to this. So let me know down in the comments below whether you guys are looking forward to it or not. And as well, let me know down in the comments below if you guys are going to get one or not. Alright guys, so thank you for watching. Please do go out and have a great day, and we shall see you in the next one.